Your brain is lying to you. It actually is lying to you. It is lying to you about what is possible. What is it possible for you to do? I've spent years studying why equally talented people achieve drastically different levels of success. The answer wasn't skills or connections, who you knew, where you came from, or even luck. The key difference? The internal operating system, their mindset. What I discovered was really fascinating. 4 distinct mindsets that consistently predicted exceptional achievement, regardless of the field. It wasn't just about engineering or being a doctor, across all fields. These 4 distinct mindsets predicted exceptional, far beyond results. But even more intriguing were the 3 patterns that derailed highly talented people, often, surprisingly, without them even realizing it. Understanding these could be the difference between reaching your potential and wondering why success just feels just out of reach. Let me give you an example, or give you kind of a way to think about this. Picture 2 software engineers with identical skills. One builds a groundbreaking startup, while the other remains kind of stuck in that mid-level position. The difference often is not their coding ability. It's how they interpret and respond to challenges, opportunities, and the inevitable setbacks. Let's dispel a common myth. Mindset is not about some repeated mantra or forced optimism. It's your brain's foundational programming that determines how you process and act on information. Recent neuroscience research shows that your beliefs literally shape your brain's neural pathways, affecting everything from problem solving to stress response. Think of your brain as a computer. Your thinking skills, whether that be convergent thinking, divergent thinking, aesthetic systems, etc., are like software programs. Your mindset is the operating system that determines how effectively these programs run. The best software struggles with an outdated operating system. Here's what this means in practice. Your thinking skills, such as processing information and solving problems and generating ideas and making decisions and planning strategies, that's all thinking skills. Mindset, it is, what do you believe is possible? How do you interpret challenges? What meaning do you assign to failures or setbacks? How do you view your own potential? And what do you consider true about success? Now, most people equate success with gaining new skills or resources. However, my research revealed that transformative achievement often stems from adopting specific mental frameworks that alter how we approach challenges and opportunities. These 4 mindsets repeatedly emerged among individuals who consistently turned potential into reality of success. So what's the first one? It's what I call the explorer mindset. It thrives on venturing into unknown territory, viewing uncertainty as a gateway to discover rather than a barrier to progress. It sees uncertainty as exciting rather than threatening. It treats confusion as a sign of learning, not inadequacy. And it values questions over answers. So for an example, when facing a new challenge, do you ask, what can I discover, instead of, what if I fail? Second is the experimenter mindset. It approaches every situation as a laboratory for learning, transforming both successes and failures into valuable data points. It treats outcome as useful data, it separates results from self-worth, and it views failure as feedback. So an example, after a setback, do you ask, what did this teach me, instead of, what does this say about me? Separating it from that personal worth is key. The third mindset is what I call the connector mindset. It builds bridges of knowledge and opportunity, recognizing that true innovation emerges from the collision of diverse perspectives. It sees success as collaboration rather than competition. It builds on others' ideas instead of defending territory. And it shares knowledge to multiply learning. So, an example, when others succeed, do you think, what can I learn from them instead of why not me? And the fourth, the navigator mindset. It steers through the challenges with flexibility and purpose, constantly adjusting course while maintaining sight of the destination. It focuses on directing rather than controlling. It adapts to changing conditions instead of fighting them. It seeks progress over perfection. Key. An example, during setbacks, ask, what's my next best move instead of, why is this happening to me? Now, while empowering mindsets can propel us forward, there are certain ones that quietly sabotage our progress. These destructive mindsets are particularly dangerous because they often disguise themselves as prudence or as self-protection. So watch for these. First one, the fortress mindset. Builds walls against potential threats and opportunities alike, sacrificing growth for the false illusion of safety. It defends against possible failure instead of pursuing potential success. It treats new information as threatening rather than useful. An example, many times you'll hear people say, it's better to stay safe than risk looking foolish. The second landmine that will sabotage is the fixed identity mindset. It lives within the prison of self-imposed limitations, mistaking current capabilities for permanent boundaries. It treats current abilities as permanent traits. It views effort as a sign of inadequacy. It's putting yourself into a box that got defined years ago and never pushing and getting beyond those boundaries. An example is you'll hear people say, oh, I'm just not a numbers person, or I'm just not detailed oriented, or I'm not. As soon as you hear someone say that, this is the sabotage that's going to hold them back from success. Number three, the finite gain mindset. These are the people who view life as a zero-sum competition, where protecting resources becomes more important than creating new possibilities. They see every situation as a win-lose and treats resources and opportunities as scarce. They think, for example, that their gain is my loss. Innovation's a team sport. Innovation is win-win. There is an unlimited supply of ideas, an unlimited opportunity to innovate. This is not a mental model for success. So, after looking at all this and looking at the 4 mental models for success and the 3 that really become the roadblocks, the real breakthrough discovery that I uncovered was that mindsets are not fixed. Your brain remains plastic throughout life, capable of forming new neural pathways. Now, here's how to update your mental operating system. First step, map your current programming. Record your automatic response to challenges. How do you naturally react? Notice patterns and how you explain successes and failures. And identify your recurring beliefs about your capabilities. 2, install your new mental software. Replace absolutes like I can't with experiments like let's see what happens if. Transform your judgments of I'm bad at this into observations of this is where I am now. And switch from conclusions like this won't work to questions of how might this work? And then 3, run regular system updates. Test new approaches in low-risk situations. Gather evidence that challenges limiting beliefs. And build a network of people around you that reinforces your new operating system, your new mental model. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go through and do a big, radical, massive change. Small mindset shifts can create dramatic changes over time. A 1-degree change in trajectory might look insignificant at first, but leads to a completely different destination in your career. Consider this: an airplane taking off from Los Angeles to New York that adjusts its trajectory by just 1 degree, would end up in Albany, New York instead, about 150 miles off course. Extend that same 1-degree error on a flight from Los Angeles to Shanghai, and you'd miss China entirely, landing in Mongolia instead, over 500 miles from your intended destination. This same principle applies to mindset shifts. A small change in how you interpret challenges or respond to setbacks might seem trivial today, but over months and years, it places you in an entirely different position in your personal life and your career. The explorer mindset sees one more possibility. The experimenter mindset runs one more test. And the connector mindset makes one more meaningful connection. These small shifts compound into dramatic differences in where you ultimately land on the success curve. So, pick one area where you really feel stuck. What belief about your capabilities or about how things work might be creating that stagnation, that feeling of being stuck? Now remember, your mindset isn't who you are. It's just the operating system you are currently running. And like any software, it can be updated. The most liberating truth I've ever discovered: the potential isn't fixed by your past, it's limited by your current mindset. It doesn't matter where you went to school, it doesn't matter where you grew up, it doesn't matter whether you grew up in a family with money. It's about your mindset. Choose your mental operating system wisely. So, did you like what I'm sharing here about mindsets? Hit that subscribe bell, and I've got more science-backed success strategies coming your way about how to improve your thinking skills, your mindset, that ultimately leads to your success in your innovation. Now, our thinking skills success, which is a link in the description, really took off. It's been surprising. And I'd love to know if you'd want a similar deep dive into mindsets, about each of the mindsets in more detail, and what does it really mean if you can do that 1% change and have it change your trajectory. If you would like for me to go deeper into mindsets, post a comment. Let me know. Channel members, by the way, don't forget you get exclusive content, exclusive live events, and access to office hours to have a conversation with me to accelerate your innovation projects. Go over to the channel and click join if you're not a member yet, and if you're ready to take your innovation skills to a step further. Also, if you're more of a Patreon person, the Patreon page is up and live. You can become a member by going through Patreon. Link is in the description. Thanks for being part of the journey. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.